it's by no small, it's no small thing that you guys did with the felt goatees and the flash mobs and the hashtags and the drawings, the comics. We feel how much you guys love this show. We feel how much you care for us and we care for you back. And we just want to say, the fact that you guys walked away from your computers and watched us live and got us those numbers is massive. So if you guys can just keep doing that every Thursday at 8, no, I'm kidding. No, that's really, thank you very much. We really are humbled by how much you guys love us, and thank you for coming out today.
And Yvette, you know, you've had this recent storyline with Shirley and Pierce. Will this continue? The two have done this unlikely partnership going forward.
Yeah, Shirley and Pierce are kind of like oil and water, and I think it's kind of fun to see them together because I don't think she likes him very much. Does she like him very much?
Well, she's human, so no.
So, you know, I think they're going to go down the road to try to make Shirley's sandwiches a reality, but because this is, you know, Greendale and things don't always go as planned, there's a good chance that it will go awry in some way.
Now, Ken, I wanted to ask you, you know, Chang, poor Chang, he tried so hard to be a member of this group. At this point, you know, is there any hope, or is he just not even think there is hope, and so he's channeling his energy in another way?
I think he's just clinically and medically insane, and I think he is bringing wonderful wisp of paranoid schizophrenia to Greendale.
Now, this show has obviously become known for some very unusual, sort of risky, out-of-the-box episodes. I want to bring up one in particular this season, Remedial Chaos Theory. This gentleman right here, Chris, you wrote that episode. How difficult is it to shape a 22-minute episode of TV into something like that with all the elements in there?
First of all, I have to say that, you know, it's television, and, you know, we have a writing staff, and we all work, you know, it was Dan's idea. He came in, vomited up a bunch of ideas for it, and then we picked through the vomit, and we kept on helping shape. Anyway, but it was tough. It drove, you know, there was a group of us working on it, and we slowly went insane. I think you saw some of the pictures that Dan posted of the whiteboards that they read out of, you know, A Beautiful Mind. It was difficult, and but really, really rewarding in the end, particularly how people responded to it, because we just didn't know what people were going to think of this thing, because God knows we were shooting that thing on the set, and I think we all were wondering what the hell we were shooting at a certain point. I know the cast.
Well, I think it was as ambitious for us to shoot as it was for you guys to write, and we were shooting it up until I think the week before it aired in bits and pieces. So one time Yvette and I shot a scene at like 2 in the morning. Do you remember that?
I do remember.
3 episodes ahead of it, and they were like, go put on those clothes and do that hair again, and go in there, and you're high, and she's got some pies. And so it was so exciting because it was so ambitious. And I remember, Chris, we were at Comic-Con last year, and he was, yeah.
You guys like comic books?
And Chris was telling me at a party at Comic-Con, like, episode 303 is like the craziest thing we've ever attempted, which on our show really means something. And I think we were all so proud of how it turned out, and thank you guys for responding to it and enjoying it.
How do you hone down that episode? Because I would imagine that, you know how you only got 22 minutes, you know, do you guys have a lot of extra scenes, a lot of extra time you have to cut on episodes like that? Or do you just know by the time you're shooting, okay, we've got to get it down to these core elements?
Well, that one we actually had to air a week out of order precisely because we needed an extra week in the edit bay on it. That's why, I mean, a lot of the more hardcore fans are usually all too aware of when we shuffle the episode order, and I hate doing it because it confuses people. Now, once again, because of the hiatus, we're doing it again, by the way. It doesn't affect anything, but in next week's episode, just be prepared that they're going to be coming back into the study room going, hey, how was winter break? And it was something that I hope you'll agree we had to do for political reasons. Like, we had just to keep the show that you love, like, to get to come back strong. The episode that you saw us come back with, it was like, that's the first time I ever did that for that reason. It was like let's just we're coming back on the air, maybe we'll have a bunch of new viewers. Let's really roll out the red carpet for them with a grounded episode that showcases the characters and doesn't confuse the hell out of them. So anyways, that's a bit of a tangent. If you guys view TV the way I do, then you get nervous when we shuffle the episode order. The timeline episode was shifted by a week because Chris and I were sitting in the edit bay for an extra week going, this thing sucks. And obviously it didn't, but it's worrying that it does that causes you to put the extra work into something that makes it great.
All those great all those the dice special effects, that was an idea that you came up with that I thought was a terrible idea at the time. And then I'm like, oh, we don't need to do that. We don't have to spoon feed it, but I think it actually became such a great, iconic, cool storytelling device in that episode, and that was part of the reason too. It was getting all those designs and special effects for that episode, and then covered brilliantly in ADR by one of your jokes, right?
Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah. One of the best first joke of the episode was that their apartment number is 303, which was supposed to match that it was episode 303, and so Annie and Britta arrived at the door and they wanted us to ADR some just like, oh, we're here at Troy Robbins' apartment. And I saw the 303 come up and I never realized that was the first joke, and I thought it was so great, but now we're 304, and so I said something that addressed that in some way. How many people are there here today? This is so intimidating to talk. People, thank you all for coming out, but it's very intimidating.
The show has also become known for excellent holiday episodes, and I wanted to ask Steve, you wrote the most recent Christmas episode, Regional Holiday Music.
Yeah.
At this point, is it a little intimidating because, Christmas episodes already the show has been delivering, and you feel that okay, what are we going to do? This one has to be something special here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a big fan of both season 1 and season 2's Christmas episodes. The claymation episode, I think, is pretty retardedly awesome.
Any retardedly awesome people in the audience? So.
No, but Dan always kind of, I think, wanted to do something Glee-based, and I know my writing partner is a huge musical theater nerd, so she was very excited about that prospect, and we just kind of went from there.
But you guys really pushed it, to your credit. I mean, it probably wouldn't have happened this season because I've always felt that Community needed to do a musical episode, but that's something that, I mean, Grey's Anatomy did a musical episode, Scrubs did a musical episode, that it's not like just doing it makes the audience go, oh, thank you for doing it. Like, it's been done, so you have to do it well in order for it to be special. And I like writing songs is like a crapshoot. It takes a long time to write songs, and you don't know if you spend 8 hours on one, if you come out on the other side with no time left and a crappy song.
We actually had to hire a Emmy Award-winning lyricist to help us out.
Yes, I won an Emmy for my songwriting. But Steve and his partner Annie, they, because Annie's a big musical nerd and stuff, it was like, this is the year it's going to happen for sure. And that was I was like, good. I like it when the writers get passionate about stuff and force me to do stuff that I think I would chicken out on for another season.
I wanted to say something about Dan Harmon. He is a brilliant lyricist, and the rap that Troy and Yvette do, right? I heard a version of Dan Harmon rapping. That was a horrible rendition of what he did. But no, he literally, I heard Donald do it, and I thought, oh, that's so nice that, you did it, whatever. And Donald was like, no, this is exactly Dan Harmon's flow. Dan Harmon did the exact rap with that same, it was genius. You should play it, do you have it?
Yeah, I have my phone right here. What if I accidentally play the voicemail from Chevy where he tells me I'm only gonna live to 57 the way I eat?
Keep the picture pretty.
He cursed me like a gypsy.
Keep the picture pretty.
I really believe that. Like, that's such a specific number. It tells you you're only gonna live to 57. Like, that's like a curse. That's what I got cursed by Fletch.
Yeah, another subject event. You and Joel, there was a really great episode this season, the foosball episode, where we got to see the backstory on your characters characters, and you know, give a really nice friendship bonding there at the end for Jeff and Shirley. Going forward, we're going to touch upon that again to see those two interact.
Yeah, you know what? One of the first episodes I worked with Joel was in the first season, and that was also the first time Joel and I,